This is the third and last installment of our series on nuclear structure and reactions called Nuclear Fission and Fusion, and there are the relevant TEECs on the screen. The discovery of fission. We all remember that James Chadwick discovered the neutral particle in the nucleus of the atom in 1932. He called it a neutron because it had no charge. Many scientists then started experimenting with neutrons. Enrico Fermi and his team bombarded every known element with neutrons, and among the products they found some new radioactive elements. Neutrons had caused the fission or breakup of large nuclei. Uranium is one of them. It produced lighter but radioactive products when bombarded with neutrons. Fermi discovered that neutrons could be slowed down by first funneling them through light elements like carbon, kind of like a filter. And so he used graphite to slow down the neutrons. Other scientists showed that uranium was fissioning into barium and other elements that are lighter, less massive than uranium. And later, U-235 and plutonium-239 were shown to be the best candidates for fission using slow neutrons as initiators. U-235 fissions like this. A neutron enters, in this case, a nucleus of uranium-235, and a nuclear reaction occurs, producing daughter elements and more neutrons. In this case, the daughter elements coming off are strontium-90 and xenon-143. And here is the reaction schematically and using our convention. The products of fission, however, are unpredictable. They are never just a couple of products. In this case, strontium and xenon, in this case, barium and krypton. But always neutrons are released and energy is produced, lots of energy, from the mass defect. Each fission releases neutrons that can make other nuclei fission or fish. This process will continue, making more and more nuclei break up. That's called a chain reaction, and it continues until there are no more nuclei that are able to react. Because matter is converted into energy in nuclear reactions, fission produces a huge amount of heat. When controlled, this can be used to drive turbines that produce electricity for human use. The South Texas Nuclear Project, which is close to the coast of the Gulf, is such a project, and that's been around since the mid-1970s. When released from a carefully engineered nuclear weapon, however, this energy can do an incredible amount of damage, as when the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan, and World War II ended as a result. Nuclear fusion is a different process. It occurs when 2 light elements are forced together to make a heavier element, a heavier nucleus. The 2 nuclei fuse into a new and heavier nucleus. This releases a great deal of energy. Here is a typical equation for such a nuclear fusion reaction. Hydrogen 3 collides with hydrogen 2 to form helium 4, a spare neutron, and an energy boost. Nuclear fusion now occurs naturally only in the stars. It gives us all the energy that we use here on Earth through photosynthesis. So if your house has solar cells, the ultimate source of that electricity is the fusion reaction in the Sun. Nuclear fusion is the driving force behind what's called thermonuclear weapons. These are huge weapons that start off with an atomic bomb, and it's wrapped with isotopes of hydrogen that can then fuse in the huge temperatures of that reaction, and lots of energy is released, lots of very destructive energy. They are no longer tested in the atmosphere. The Nuclear Test Ban Treaty came into effect largely as the result of efforts by Dr. Linus Pauling and his comrades. The release of harmful radioactive isotopes during the 1950s stopped at that point. Could we produce electricity from fusion reactions? That would use a cheap fuel. Hydrogen is easily gotten from water. It would generate less nuclear waste than the fission nuclear plants. Research into fusion reactors has been going on since before the 1950s. There is, however, no working fusion reactor on Earth yet. Here is a summary of the two types of reactions we have looked at, fission and fusion. Remembering that fission means a splitting of a large nucleus. Fusion is the joining of two small nuclei. The byproducts are indicated, the energy uses so far, and what to do about waste.